amazing. All the things you can learn in short space, but the time's still running, don't let it waste. Yeah, you can learn with me, cause when I'm reading, oh, it's so amazing, so amazing. I flip the page, I see it written down again and again. I'm humble and I'm walking it. That if you will today, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, follow me, yeah. Follow me, yeah, to the Saturday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, follow me, yeah, to the Saturday. Then we go and keep it holy, we make it to the next day. Do you know what today is? It's our hidden history. Things you can learn in short space, but the time's still running, don't let it waste. Yeah, you can learn with me, cause when I'm reading, oh, it's so amazing, so amazing. I flip the page, I see it written down again and again. I'm humble and I'm walking it. That if you will today, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, follow me, yeah. Follow me, yeah, to the Saturday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Friday, yeah, to the Saturday. Then we go and keep it holy, we make it to the next day. Do you know what today is? It's our hidden history. Things you can learn in short space, but the time's still running, don't let it waste. Yeah, you can learn with me, cause when I'm reading, oh, it's so amazing, so amazing. I flip the page, I see it written down again and again. I'm humble and I'm walking it. That if you will today, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, holding the make until the next day. Do you know what today is? It's our hidden history. Things you can learn in short space, but the time's still running, don't let it waste. Yeah, you can learn with me, cause when I'm reading, oh, it's so amazing, it's so amazing. I flip the page, I see you written down again and again. I'm humbling, I'm hearkening, that if you
Shalom, shalom. Welcome back to another episode of Our Hidden History. You are now tuned into Our Hidden History radio show. All praises, all praises. Hey, first, I got to give a shout out to Bishop's class yesterday. Amazing class. So, we are in the last days, man. So we got to build our spirit up because, hey, they about to come after us. All right, we are in the last days. So these classes are coming out to build our spirit up, to get to build our faith. All right, so we can prepare for what's to come. These classes don't come out for no reason. They don't come out for no reason. All right, so the leadership is preparing us for what's to come. So it behooves us to take heed and get our spirits together, get our spirits right, and leave off from sin, man. Leave off from the sin. All right. Now, as far as the show, last week we dealt with the destruction. We went into the whole destruction of 70 A.D., everything that went down as far as with Titus and Vespasian. Now, I want to go back. You know how I like to do. I like to recap from the last show. So give me the page 312, History of the Jews by Heinrich Graetz. Show the cover of the book again, History of the Jews by Heinrich Graetz. Show the cover of the book. Okay, that's volume 2, but this is the cover of the book, History of the Jews by Heinrich Graetz. This is volume 2. So this is a 6-volume set. All right, this is White Eyes Only, 1896. All right. 6-volume set. You can purchase it now. I think they still have them. They still have a couple of sets, so you can actually purchase it. All right. Now, let's get into it. 311.
It would indeed be difficult to describe the sufferings of those who were taken captive in the war, estimated at the number of 900,000.
So nearly 1 million of us were taken captive in the war. Remember, Jerusalem at that time, it was the Passover. It was the Passover, so a lot of us was coming from the other countries and so forth that we were scattered in. Give me Acts chapter 2 real quick to prove that. A lot of us was coming from the other countries that we were scattered in into Jerusalem. Remember, we had to worship. We had to come to Jerusalem to worship 3 times out the year. Read that.
The book of Acts, chapter 2 and verse 1. And when the day of Pentecost was fully come, they were all with one accord in one place. Mm-hmm. And suddenly there came a sound from heaven, as of a rushing mighty wind, and it filled all the house where they were sitting.
Read.
And there appeared unto them cloven tongues, like as of fire, and it sat upon each of them. And they were all filled with the Holy Ghost, and began to speak with other tongues, as the Spirit gave them utterance.
Verse 5.
And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men,
out
of every nation under heaven.
So you had those of us that was dwelling in every nation under the heavens. We was in every country. We went over that earlier in the in this whole episode, this series of the 12 Caesars. All right, so we was scattered in every country of the globe, 4 corners of the earth. Give me Deuteronomy 4:27. Deuteronomy 4:27.
The book of Deuteronomy.
Hey, can y'all hear me good?
Yeah.
Y'all hear me? All right. Oh, go ahead.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4 and verse 27.
Read.
And the Lord shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen.
So he's talking to the Israelites. We should be scattered where?
And the Lord shall scatter you among the nations.
The Lord God will scatter us among the nations throughout the 4 corners of the earth. Read.
And ye shall be left few in number among the heathen.
Right. Give me James chapter 1. James chapter 1.
The book of James, chapter 1 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
James, a servant of God and of the Lord Jesus Christ.
Read.
To the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad.
New Testament again. To the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. We were scattered in every nation under the heaven. All right. So now when we go back, remember it said, read that again. Go back to the page.
It would indeed be difficult to describe the sufferings of those who were taken captive in the war, estimated at the number of 900,000.
So nearly 1 million. Like I said, we were coming to worship at Jerusalem. Give me the eunuch, the Ethiopian eunuch. I'm just proving to you how we were coming to Jerusalem still. And then after that, give me Luke. Go back to Luke chapter 21. Acts chapter 8, 8 and 30.
The book of Acts, chapter 8 and verse 30. And Philip ran thither to him and heard him read. Starting from verse 27. And he arose.
I don't know what just happened.
I got you. Verse 27.
You good?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Acts chapter 8, verse 27.
Go ahead.
And he arose and went, and behold, a man of Ethiopia, and eunuch of great authority under Candace, queen of the Ethiopians, who had the charge of all her treasure, and had come to Jerusalem for to worship.
Right, a man of Ethiopia. Okay, he came to Jerusalem to do what?
To worship.
Read it again.
And he arose and went, and behold, a man of Ethiopia, and eunuch of great authority under Candace, queen of the Ethiopians, who had the charge of all her treasure, and had come to Jerusalem for to worship.
All right, so he came to Jerusalem to worship. Why would a man of Ethiopia come to Jerusalem to worship? Remember, we were scattered in every nation under the heaven. All right? We were scattered every nation under the heaven. Now, watch this. Go back to Luke 21. He was obviously an Israelite if he was coming to Jerusalem to worship.
The book of Luke, chapter 21 and verse 21. Then,
That's what I want. Yep.
yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter in thereinto.
Read that again.
Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains.
So let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains. Flee deeper into Africa. Read.
And let them which are in the midst of it depart out. And let not them that are in the countries.
That are in where?
In the countries.
In the countries that are outside of the land of Israel. Read.
Enter thereinto.
Why? Because we were scattered in the four corners of the earth. Out of every nation under heaven, we were scattered. All right. Now, let's go back to the page.
Hey, officer.
Yep.
And that's why in John 3:16, why the Lord says, God so loved the world. It's not talking about every nation.
Right.
Because we were scattered throughout the whole world.
We were scattered throughout the whole world. All right. Read that.
It would indeed be difficult to describe the sufferings of those who were taken captive in the war, estimated at the number of 900,000. The surviving inhabitants of Jerusalem were driven into the site of the temple and placed under the guardianship of a certain Fronto, a freed slave. All those who were recognized as insurgents were crucified. The princes of Abiadine alone being spared and sent as hostages to Rome to secure the loyalty of the king of Abiadine. 17,000 prisoners died of hunger, many of them being neglected by Fronto, whilst others indignantly refused the food which their conquerors offered them.
Right. Just like when Daniel, just like in the book of Daniel, when he refused the food of the king. All right. Same thing. We was doing the same thing. We did not want we didn't want to defile ourselves with any of their food, any of the other nations' food, the heathens' food. Go ahead.
From amongst the youths, about 17 years.
Today we willingly defile ourselves with the heathen's food. We don't know what we eating from the heathen, especially Moab. But we willingly go and go grab it. You understand? So, but back then we understood we good. Even Daniel, he wanted to, Daniel was on a vegan diet. Pulse. That's all he ate. All right? So he would not defile himself. Read on.
From amongst the youths about 17 years of age, the tallest and handsomest were selected for the Roman triumphs, whilst others were sent to labor in the mines for the rest of their lives, or were relegated to the Roman provinces to take their part in the fights of the arena.
So they either sent the tallest of us and handsome of us were selected for Roman triumphs, while others were sent to labor in the mines. All right, sent to labor in the mines, in the salt mines. And then you had those of us they sent to go and fight in the arenas. We became gladiators. All over again. All right. Hey, go back to that one page where we built the Colosseum. That we fought in. Hey, I think you said that, Officer Manny, last week. We built our own tomb or something.
Yep. It's like somebody telling you to build a casket and then they put your body in after you're done.
That's exactly what we did. Read that.
Rome greeted the victorious Vespasian and Titus with a triumph, in which the envious Domitian took an unwilling part. Following the victor's car, mounted with a white charger.
Mounted on a white charger.
Mounted on a white charger. The captive Jews who were to grace the triumphal entry had already arrived. They consisted of 700 of the noblest and fairest of the youth of Palestine, and of the two leaders of the insurrection, Simon Georus and John of Gascala.
Right, so they the ones that led the zealots, okay? They were like the head leaders of the zealots. All right? Go ahead.
The sacred roll of the law, the table of showbread, the golden candlestick, and other parts of the temple furniture were exhibited in the triumph and then deposited amongst the spoils.
Jump down to the next highlighted. Watch this.
Amongst others, the Colosseum.
So the Colosseum in Rome, amongst others, was what?
Built by Vespasian, was, according to a late Christian tradition, mostly reared by Jewish labor.
So the very Coliseum that we built, they put us in there to fight and kill ourselves. And they also had us fighting against animals. All right, so they had us fighting in the Coliseum against animals and ourselves, man. All right. Was it you that brought out the movie Hunger Games?
Yeah, Hunger Games.
Yeah, the movie Hunger Games. Okay, look, Esau put these movies, they put the history right in front of us. They put the history right in front of us. So in the movie Hunger Games, you want to explain it?
Yeah, they split up all the people that they wanted to fight in the Gladiator arena into 12 districts supposed to represent the 12 tribes.
Damn.
And then they'll grab one person, whatever, it'll be old people, young kids, and
Right.
they'll have them fight animals, each other, whatever it is, and they'll pick their weapons that they got to use.
Damn. So now you know the movie Hunger Games is us fighting in the arenas as gladiators.
Right.
All right. So go back, read on.
From amongst the youths, about 17 years of age, the tallest and handsomest were selected for the Roman triumphs, whilst others were sent to labor in the mines for the rest of their lives, or were relegated to the Roman provinces to take their part in the fights of the arena.
In the fights of the arena. So now, remember, this is we going over the 12 feathers, and how, and remember this, the series that we've been doing is called the Echoes of Rome. Remember, America is an extension of ancient Rome. With that being said, we like to show the parallels between Rome, ancient Rome, and America. So with that being said, you would think, okay, we was gladiators, at that time, right? We were gladiators back then, doing 70 AD and so forth, and before. Were we gladiators doing slavery again? Let's find out. Give me the link. I want the link from the Telegram. Watch this. I'm telling you, history repeats itself. Same spirits be coming back doing the same thing.
Out of this century.
Yeah, read. You don't gotta read all that. Just get to the title.
Watch
this.
The greatest African-American and Afro-American martial artist in history.
So this is the greatest African-American and Afro-American martial artist in history. Go down. Yeah, blow it up. Move it over. All right, let's read. Let me see if I want this. Go down. All right, go up. You start from the top. All right, listen to this. Go ahead.
When asked to recall a great martial artist of African descent born in the Americas, the average person is likely to mention a 20th century boxer such as Joe Louis.
So when you talk about a martial artist, you're going to mention Muhammad Ali, Joe Louis, of our people, right? Go ahead.
Or a more recent exponent of the Asian martial arts, such as Jim Kelly.
Now, Jim Kelly was the brother that was in Enter the Dragon. That was the brother with the fro. He said, you come straight out of a comic book. That was Enter the Dragon. That was Jim Kelly. Go ahead.
Or those of the younger generation might name the modern mixed martial arts competitor Anderson Silva.
Now, that was a bad dude. Anderson Silva, that was a bad dude right there, right? You got your lights like Mike Tyson, right? Go ahead.
Regarded by some as the greatest pound-for-pound fighter of all time.
Read.
What many do not know is that in centuries past, some of the greatest practitioners of European martial arts were of African descent.
Read that again. Read it again.
What many do not know is that in centuries past, some of the greatest practitioners of European martial arts were of African descent.
Right? Read.
Although Africans brought a number of their own indigenous techniques with them to Europe and the Americas, as can be read about here, they also sometimes trained in, adopted, and excelled in European swordsmanship.
So hold on. We had amongst us swordsmen. All right, so that's what he's saying. We brought that knowledge of swordsmanship over to the Americas. Read. From Europe. Read.
Also known as classical and historical fencing.
So it wasn't called swordsmanship at the time. Over in Europe, it's called fencing. Go ahead.
During the 18th and 19th centuries.
So hold on. During the 18th and 19th centuries, where were we? Slavery. right? During the 18th, 19th centuries, we're in slavery. Read.
It was even possible, albeit difficult, for a person of African descent to achieve renown to such a point that they would be revered and even sought for instruction by whites. And the historical
Read that again. Read it again.
during the 18th and 19th centuries, it was even possible, albeit difficult.
So it was possible, but difficult. Read.
For a person of African descent to achieve renown to such a point that they would be revered.
This is in slavery. What I'm showing you is that you had those of us that knew martial arts in slavery to the point that we would be renowned or even revered, respected, right? Read.
And even sought for instruction.
Or even sought for instructions. By who?
By whites.
Even Esau was coming to see us to learn the martial arts that we knew in slavery.
right.
Read.
And the historical record shows that such was the case for multiple individuals.
So the brother that put this together, he's going to go into the individuals that had the martial arts during slavery. Go ahead.
This is not to in any way minimize the oppression and ordeals that African Americans and African Europeans endured in the past.
Right, because we still was oppressed even though we had these skills, right? Read.
Rather, it is a testament to the extraordinary skill, ability, dedication, and perseverance of these individuals,
Read on.
which allowed them to triumph, at least as much as was possible, over the prejudices of their time and ascend to the highest ranks of martial achievement.
All right. Now, watch this. Watch this. Read.
An early instance of one such person can be found as early as 1733.
So we talking about 1733 right now. 1733. Watch this. Read.
When the following advertisement appeared in a southern colonial newspaper, informing the public about a runaway slave
A runaway slave. Read.
or indentured servant.
Read. Watch.
Run away from Mr. Alex Vanderdusen's plantation at Goose Creek, a Negro man named Thomas Butler,
So his name was Thomas Butler. Read.
the famous pushing and dancing master.
From where?
South Carolina.
Yo, Judah, man. Judah. All right, swordsman. Watch this. Pushing and dancing. He's going to explain what pushing and dancing master mean. Read.
In 18th century terminology, to push was to launch an attack with the small sword. A fact which confirms that Thomas Butler was a fencing master.
He was a runaway slave. He wanted to get away. Now you got to think, why the hell, if he know how to fence, if he had that knowledge, why is he running away? Obviously, guess what his master was doing with him? Making money off of him. Having duels with him. Read.
A fact which confirms that Thomas Butler was a fencing master.
He made him a gladiator. Go ahead.
And one who had achieved some degree of fame. At least.
So how you gotta read between the lines. How was he able to achieve that degree of fame? His master was taking him and making him fight other swordsmen and so forth. Go ahead.
At least on a local scale. Butler was apparently so esteemed.
So look, he was apparently so esteemed as being a great swordsman. Read.
That in July of 1734, his former master was impelled to post the following additional notice.
So it's been a year now. His master posted an additional notice. Still looking for him. Read.
Whereas Thomas Butler, fencing master, has been runaway these 2 years since.
So he said, yo, he's been gone for 2 years since. Read.
And has been entertained by several gentlemen about ferry.
So wait, several gentlemen that Thomas Butler, the slave, was running into, he was entertaining them. They wanted to see him. Obviously, he was getting into probably some type of scuffles or whatever with the sword, or they knew he could fight. Right? Read.
About ferry who pretend not to know that he had a master.
So you had some of them that pretended to know that he didn't have a master. That's how nice he was. They respected him to the point they acted like he didn't even have a master. They wasn't going, because at that time, they would have returned you quickly back to your master. But they like, nah, this dude right here, we ain't about to do that. He might try to kill us or something. So they pretended that he didn't even have a master. He said, nah, let's act like he ain't even got a master. Go ahead.
This is therefore desired that they would not do the like in the future.
So he put that the next ad out so that they wouldn't do that. So obviously, and what I'm thinking in my mind is that also those that he ran into obviously wanted to be trained also. They want to be, look, if you teach us how to fight, we're going to show you that. We're going to show you all of that. If you teach us how to fight, we won't return you back to your master. Pretty much bribing him so they could get trained on how to become swordsmen. Okay, go ahead.
These passages are all the more remarkable when one considers that they are the earliest known reference to a fencing master in the American South. The next being Edward Blackwell, who in 1734 posthumously published his treatise on the art of fencing. Although not much else is known about Thomas Butler, the above passages prove that as early as the 1730s, it was not impossible to achieve fame and esteem as a black martial artist and instructor in white society.
Read on.
This article will profile 3 of the greatest such individuals.
All right, go down. Go down. Let me see if I want anything else. All right, so that's that. Go down. Go back up. Go back up. So this picture right here, that's us boxing. That's during the Hellenistic period, during the Greek captivity. All right, they had us boxing during that time period. This particular sculpture is in the book. What book is that? Snowden. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Nah, hell no. Snowden. I gotta find the book, but it's in that book. Bishop brought out plenty of times. Read on.
You want to start all the way?
No, go down. So look, you got some pictures here. These are pictures of us in actual books that they have of us fencing. Okay. Go back up top. Let me see if I want what's up top.
Bet you that was during the times we were taking cold baths.
Oh gosh. All right. Okay. Read this. Yeah, as far as back as the age of antiquity.
As far back as the age of antiquity, there is evidence of martial artists of African descent testing their abilities in Europe. In ancient Rome, numerous African gladiators, mainly from Ethiopia, fought in the arenas made famous at Pompeii and the Colosseum.
Mainly from Africa. Go ahead. Excuse me.
Most were, of course, brought to Rome as slaves.
Okay, brought to Rome as slaves. Read.
However, some gladiators were able to win their freedom due to their celebrated fighting ability and even continued to fight in the arenas.
Damn, so we continue to fight in the arenas even after we were freed. Read.
Although a period image of African gladiators wielding swords could not be found for this article. On the right is a mosaic depicting an Ethiopian retiarius or net and trident wielding gladiator.
Right. As you can see, he's black. He is black. All right, go ahead.
Currently housed at the Musée Granit, Aix-en-Provence, France.
So that's in France. All right, go down. Let me see. Anything else? Go down. So here you have us here fighting against Esau. Read that bottom.
Above, a sickle fencer, clearly of African descent, pictured in Paulus Hector's Mare des Arts Athletica, published in Augsburg, Germany.
What year?
1542.
So this is 1542. This is us in Germany. Go down. Look right here. Brother right here. Read the bottom.
Above, a fencer of African descent wielding an early rapier or side sword, pictured in Paulus Hector's Mare des Arts Athletica, published in Augsburg, Germany, 1542.
All right. So don't forget why we going over this. Remember it said we were fighting in the arenas. Titus put us in the arenas to fight. Okay, when they took us captive. But now I'm showing you, I'm paralleling ancient Rome, America with ancient Rome to show you Esau did the same thing to us here in slavery. They made us gladiators all over again here also. All right, but it's not talked about. It's not talked about at all in the history books. All right, they pretty much overlooked that. Go ahead. Go down. Oh, right here. Yeah. That's what I want. Read that top. Later in 1657.
Later in 1657, a highly detailed account of Africans practicing European swordsmanship was sent down by Richard Ligon.
Now, I have the actual page to this book. Let me see if I can send it. The actual page to this particular book. 1 second. You can read on.
Some of the African servants who have been bred up amongst the Portugals have some extraordinary qualities, which the others have not, as singing and fencing. I have seen some of these Portugal Negroes at colonies.
So you had those of us that were coming from Portugal. Those of us that was coming from Portugal, we knew the art of swordsmanship. Read it again.
Some of the African servants,
So some of the African slaves, read,
who have been bred up amongst the Portugals, have some extraordinary qualities,
so have some extraordinary qualities. Watch this.
which the others have not,
Uh-huh.
as singing and fencing.
Read.
I have seen some of these Portugal Negroes at Colonel James Drax's play at rapier and dagger very skillfully,
So that's swordsmen, okay, with the sword. Read.
with their staccatos, their embrocados, and their passes, and at single rapier too, after the manner of Charanza,
Uh-huh. Read.
with such comeliness as if the skill had been wanting.
So we was so nice. He said with such comeliness, like the way we moved with the sword and so forth. He said with such comeliness as if the skill was lacking. Go ahead.
The motions would have pleased you, but they were skillful too, which I perceived by their binding with their points, and nimble and subtle avoidings with their bodies.
So meaning we knew different tricks and so forth with the sword. We was nice. All right, go ahead.
And the advantages the strongest man had in the clothes, which the other avoided by the nimbleness and skillfulness of his motion.
Hey, look up nimble. Look up nimble.
Nimble, quick and light in movement or action.
And agile.
Not a lard back.
Right, not a lard back. He was agile. He could move.
Hey, officer, you know how just Israel, period, always got to put some flavor on everything. Just look at us in sports.
Right.
They wasn't seeing all those different type of moves that we was doing, all the, behind the back, all that stuff. So imagine us in martial arts.
Yo,
we was
bad.
taking that to another level.
That's go back to what he was saying. He said, look, when you watched him, it wasn't born with some just nah. We had skill behind it.
It wasn't bland.
It wasn't a bland, right? It wasn't bland.
Have
It's
flavor.
comely to look
Yeah,
at.
it was comely to look at. Like, damn, he's nice. Go back, read it again.
From the top? Or at a single rapier?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at a single rapier too, after the manner of Charanza, with such comeliness as if the skill had been wanting.
Right. As if it was boring, as if the skill itself would have been boring. Like, look, we got to add some flavor to this. So he was doing all type of tricks and backwards and all type of stuff. Read on. He explains it. I know it's old English, but that's what he's saying. Read.
The motions would have pleased you, but they were skillful too.
He said emotions, how he was moving, would have pleased you, but it was also skillful at the same time. Read.
He's saying the movements were so beautiful, you would think there was no skill behind it.
Right.
That's
Yes.
how beautiful the movements were. But even the movements themselves had skill behind it.
Yeah. It's just like the slaves in Brazil, how they disguise their dance and their martial arts in the dance. So
Yes.
the master be like, damn, he moving.
That's just
well.
a dance.
It's
But
just
in
a dance.
reality,
Yeah,
they
knock
getting
you out.
the-
You get knocked
the high
out.
beat. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, what's the we're gonna show you that too with we're gonna show you Northern Kingdom, Southern Kingdom. What's the one the stick fighting with the green, it's called Grima or something? I posted it up. We'll show you that too, but we'll show you where all that come from. Go ahead, read on.
Which I perceived by their binding with their points, and nimble and subtle avoidings with their bodies.
That word right there. Subtle avoidings with their bodies. Look up subtle. Subtle avoidings with their bodies.
Just small movements to avoid the
Yep.
hit. Kind of like how Mayweather, you see
Yes.
him just like easily dodging and like dipping.
Right.
Yes. In slang, it's called dip game.
Oh, yeah. Watch this. Read that.
Subtle, especially of a change or distinction, so delicate or precise as to be difficult to analyze or describe.
Damn. You see the word nice.
Yo, he nice.
Yo, he nice.
Yeah, he nice.
Yes, sir. Go down. All right, that's it. Go back. So he says, subtle avoiding with our bodies. Read it again.
And at a single rapier too, after the manner of Carranza, with such comeliness as if the skill had been wanting. The motions would have pleased you, but they were skillful too, which I perceive by their binding with their points, and nimble and subtle avoidings with their bodies, and the advantages the strongest man had in the clothes, which the other avoided by the nimbleness and skillfulness of his motion. For in this science,
For in this what?
science,
They called it a science. This is Esau. They say, yo, for in this science,
I have
it was termed the science of defense. That's what they called it, the science of defense. Go ahead.
I have been so well versed in my youth,
So he like, look, I used to fence too when I was in Europe. The Edomite saying, read.
as I was now able to be a competent judge. Upon their first appearance upon the stage, they marched towards one another with a slow, majestic pace and a bold, commanding look, as if they meant both to conquer and coming near together. They shake hands and embrace one another with a cheerful look, but their retreat is much quicker than their advance, and being at first distance, change their countenance and put themselves into their postures, and so after a pass or two, retire, and then to it again. And when they have done their play, they embrace, shake hands, and putting on their smoother countenances, give their respect to their master, and so go off.
See, they give their respect to their master and so go off. So now, read Richard Lagon.
Richard Lagon, a true and exact history of the island of Barbados.
Wait, where was this at?
Island of Barbados.
This was in Barbados. This was on the island of Barbados. So you had those of us from Portugal that came from Portugal that knew the art of swordsmanship in Barbados. Slaves in Barbados. Okay.
That remind me of that video that Officer LaQuac had showed where Levi was playing with the machetes.
Yo, I'm gonna get that. You jumping the gun. I'm gonna get that. Read on. Read on.
Lagon's account provides evidence that despite their low social status, people of African descent living in the American colonies were sometimes allowed, even encouraged, to train with various weapons, including the rapier and dagger.
Now, you know good and well Esau wasn't just allowing us to train with weapons. They did it for their own amusement. So because they made us gladiators. All right? That's why. They made us gladiators, man. That's why they let us train with weapons, so they could make money off of us. All right? We're going to read that too. Go down. Read on.
And became skilled at multiple styles, including Italian rapier fencing, as well as the profound system of Spanish swordsmanship.
Right. Go down. Got a brother right here. Read that. Portrait of a what?
Portrait of a Moor.
A portrait of what?
Moor.
Portrait of a Moor. Go up. Go up. Can we see the picture of the brother?
It's very likely that he's Charles V, the Holy Roman Emperor.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, that's very likely because he has the Habsburg jaw and all that, and they won't put any African in that posture with the hat like that and the emblem on his hat.
Damn, okay.
So he's very likely. I've looked into it. He's very likely to be the Holy Roman
But
Emperor.
they ain't
Charles
gonna say that.
V, because he was a black man as well
Right. Yeah, of course.
of Spain. So
You know, in the books,
Carlos el Quinto, they call him.
in the books, they'll just say it'd be a black man with a crown on his head. They say a head of a Moor.
Yep, head of a Moor, or like with the Mahout.
Like with the Mahout
and the Carthaginian coin.
and Hannibal.
Yeah, with Hannibal. Come on, man. Oh, it's just a Mahout. It's just a slave on the coin.
It's just a slave on a coin. That make no damn sense.
Or St. Maurice.
Like,
Being
look
king.
Yeah, St. Maurice,
St. Maurice.
just a nigger on a corn, just a nigger on a picture. But Bishop been bringing out, he was a commanding general
Right.
of 6,000. All right.
That's right.
You see him with a sword too in the sky.
Yeah, he got a sword. Go down. See the sword right here.
Yep.
All right. Now read this part.
Colonists of African descent also undoubtedly learned from less savory channels such as piracy. An estimated 1/3 of pirates during this period were black, and in such company, knowledge of swordsmanship was paramount.
So they were saying that we were either a company as pirates. We were some of us was pirates, right? That knew swordsmanship. Go ahead.
The following passage, culled from Captain Johnson's General History of the Pirates, 1728,
Read.
gives rise to the possibility that black members had access to sword instruction.
Read. Watch this. This is from the book. I had got this book too. Not, I mean, like on the looked it up. Go ahead.
Pirate captain, Mission took upon him the
So the pirate captain name was Mission. That was the nickname they gave him. Go ahead.
took upon him the command of 100 Negroes who were well disciplined. For every morning, they had been used to perform their exercise, which was taught them by a French sergeant, one of their company who belonged to the ship.
So you had those of us that were pirates that understood swordsmanship. All right. Now, this is what I want to get to right here. Watch this.
During the early 1700s,
Remember, slavery during the early 1700s. Read.
a number of swordsmen of African descent also fought
As what?
gladiators.
As what?
Gladiators.
Where?
In the British colonies.
So you had those of us as slaves fighting as swordsmen as gladiators in the British colonies. Read on.
Although these highly ritualized combats
So, although these highly ritualized combats, you don't hear about us over here as gladiators. They kept it secret, but they were highly ritualized combats. It was like rituals. Go ahead.
Although these highly ritualized combats took place in locations as remote as Jamaica.
As where?
As remote as Jamaica.
So in Jamaica, they had us gladiators. Go ahead.
Barbados.
We just read about us skillful in Barbados. Read.
and rural Ireland.
And you had us even over in Ireland as gladiators. So they had us in Jamaica as gladiators, Barbados, and Ireland, and Haiti, and Cuba.
All the Caribbean.
All the Caribbeans, they had us as gladiators. Swordsmen.
And a lot of us were pirates in the Caribbean, and those pirates were ex-slaves that they escaped, and they were rather live in the sea on their ships.
Damn.
So that's a little tidbit there.
Right. Go ahead, read on.
During the 17th century, the most popular setting for such fights was undoubtedly the infamous Bear Garden.
So there was a city, okay, during this time period that they went to, that all of them went to have us fight as gladiators, called Bear Garden. And where?
In Southwark, London.
Uh-huh.
In 1672, a Frenchman named Josephine de Rochefort visited the Bear Garden and observed.
What he seen? Read that.
We went to the Bear Garden where combats are fought by all sorts of animals and sometimes men.
And some animals and sometimes men. Read.
As we once saw. Commonly, when any fencing masters are desirous of showing their courage and great skill, they issue mutual challenges. And before they engage, parade the town with drums and trumpets sounding to inform the public there is a challenge between two brave masters of the science of defense.
So that's what they called it, science of defense. Read.
And that the battle will be fought on such a day.
Right. Go down. Let me see if I want any more. So what I'm showing you is that they had us fighting, okay, as gladiators over here during slavery. In Jamaica, Barbados, Ireland, even in London. Okay, and you had those of us that came from Portugal. All right, I'm going to show you how all this is going to play a part later on in history, as far as Haiti. All right, read on.
What followed these processions was violent and often gruesome. On the appointed day, to the sound of trumpets and beating drums, the two combatants would ascend the stage, stripped to their chests, and on a signal from the drum, draw their weapons and commence fighting. The combat would continue until one man conceded or was unable to continue. In the Rochford account, the combatants continue fighting while enduring horrific wounds, including severed ears, sliced off scalps, and half-severed wrists. Bouts occurred with different types of weapons, including longsword, backsword, cudgel.
So they was giving us all type of weapons, just like back then when we were fighting as gladiators in ancient Rome. Read.
Cudgel, foil, single rapier, rapier and dagger, sword and buckler, sword and gauntlet, falcon, flail, pike, halberd, and quarterstaff. Although such fights were not intended to end in death, the wounds received were often serious enough to incur it.
Right, you got your ear cut off. You got, I mean, come on, man. You got your
scalp.
severed ear, your scalp gone. You can see your brain. Well, I mean, you're going to die soon, right? So you telling me you put me in there with a sword and then my scalp is gone. So they say, oh, it wasn't supposed to end in death. Well, how's it supposed to end? Read on.
At least a small number of these gladiators are recorded.
So hold on. At least a small number of these gladiators were what?
Are recorded as being of African descent.
You see? So at least a small number of these gladiators, but they said at least a small number. No, there was a lot of us as gladiators. Read.
One of the earliest known instances was in May of 1701.
So this is 1701 now. Read.
When George Nerville Turner, a black master of the small sword,
So we have another brother, a black master of the small sword. Read.
who had fought several prizes, and William Thompson, a black master of the science of defense, appeared at the Bear Garden in London,
So they appeared at the Bear Garden in London to be gladiators. Read.
challenging several other gladiators to a contest with sharp weapons.
Sharp. Oh, go ahead.
It was announced that all four do intend to fight a double prize, James Harris and William Page, against the two blacks, by reason
So James Harris and William Page, they were the Edomites that was about to fight against us. Read.
by reason each man doth intend to exercise the 6 usual weapons.
Right. All right, read this, and then we're going to get out of it. Go ahead.
Another such example was Thomas Phillips, the black from Jamaica, master of the noble science of defense.
So nice. Say he was a master of the noble science of defense from Jamaica. Benji, read.
who fought in at least several public contests between 1724 and 1725.
Read.
Many of these public challenges were racially charged,
So a lot of these were racially charged. Read on.
a common feature of the period, as can be seen in the following specimen, published on September 14, 1724, and fought between Phillips and a white Englishman named Robert Carter.
Right. All right, so you get out of that. Get me, go back to the Telegram. Yeah, give me that. You got something?
I was looking up fence and defense.
Yep.
Like the sport fencing, it means defend. So defense means defend. Like it comes from that sport of fencing. So it's all the same thing.
It's all the same thing.
So the masters of fencing were masters of defense.
Damn. Hey, watch. Hey, matter of fact, go back to that that link and go down. I want to see some of the pictures. Watch this. Let me show you.
Remember,
How
when you put a fence up, you're
you're
defending your
defending.
property.
So they call it fencing because
Yeah.
it's you're
Yep.
protecting
Yourself with
the
sword.
science of defense. No, go down, all the way down, all the way down. No, man, where you going? I said down, bro. Like, look at these pictures right here. Read the
caption there.
caption.
Above, illustration of a black fencer making a disarm and cart.
Look, he took Esau's sword.
Yup, it's on the floor.
It's on the floor. Esau like, damn.
Took his sword, his glove.
He took everything. Hey, I'm trying to find this book, to be honest with you. I'm trying to find this book with that page. Go down.
What you posted the link on the group, right?
Yes, sir.
I'll see if I find it.
Go ahead. Read that.
Above, illustration of a black fencer making a pass in tierce with the knuckles up, while checking the adversary's blade with his unarmed hand.
Yeah.
He's stopping a blade. That's what the check is. He got his hand up.
He parrying it. In boxing, it's called parry. He parrying his blade
And stabbed him.
And stabbed
through the torso.
through the torso.
Damn.
Yo, he was nice, man. Slavery. Just doing slavery. All right. Go down. Read that about the illustrations. Let me see that. All those such illustrations.
Although such illustrations were the exception rather than the rule, they provide further evidence that blacks could be regarded as potentially serious fencers.
Oh, it was bad. Serious swordsmen. Go ahead.
In fact, one such fencer, Julius Soubise, 1754 to 1798, a freed Afro-Caribbean slave, was hired to be the personal fencing instructor to Catherine Hyde, the Duchess of Queensberry.
Well, Edomite. She wanted to learn. Go ahead.
And was sent to train under Domenico Angelo, one of the most renowned European fencing masters.
All right, get out of that. Go to that page. I know we sidebarring, but I just wanted to show you that we were gladiators on this side during slavery. Okay? Over here in good old Babylon the Great. Don't think it just happened in ancient Rome. No, no, no. History repeats itself. It happened to us again over here also. Yep, blow that up. No, not that page. Go to the Telegram. It's like, yeah, it's like, nah, it's like page 900. I'll show you. Yeah, the Our Hidden History one. Yep. Yep. Blow that up. Read that.
To see who was best on the plantation.
To see who was best on the plantation. Read.
In slave fighting contests and masculinity in the antebellum plantation South.
During slavery. To see who was the best on the plantation. Gladiators. Go down by who?
Sergio Lusana.
From what? From what book?
The Journal of Southern History, volume 76, number 4. November 2010.
2010, right? The Journal of Southern History. All right. Go down. Watch this. Now go to the next page. Read that. We ain't going to read everything, but we're going to skip through. I don't want to be on this too long.
Formerly enslaved with about 75 others on a cotton plantation in Jackson County, Alabama.
So we talking about Alabama right now. Alabama. Go ahead.
John Finley recalled one of the few amusements he and his fellow slaves shared in their days of bondage.
Mm-hmm.
For enjoyments, remembered Finley, weans have the
So he's talking. This is slave talk. I'm gonna have to say it for you, man. Let me
all
say
praises.
We had the Kong husking and the nigger fights. Yeah.
Yeah, what he said.
Yeah, what he said. Go ahead.
Finley delighted in his recollection of the slave fights he witnessed growing up in antebellum Alabama.
So he witnessed gladiatorial fights in Alabama. Read.
Noting that although the fights were more for the white folks' enjoyment.
See that? They were more for who?
More for the white folks' enjoyment.
It was more for Esau's enjoyment to see us fight. Remember in Django?
Yeah.
Okay, they had us wrestling, gouging each other's eyes out. Go ahead.
So
hold on. They showed it in Django. So remember, this history ain't known, but they threw it in Django to show you that we were fighting each other. Okay? So, but they threw it in there, we just backed off like, okay, they had us. No, they had us as gladiators back then. That's what they was letting you know in Django. But it's not known history. They overlooked this history. They try to keep it secret. Go ahead.
The slaves were also loath to see it. According to Finley, the masters of the different plantations matched their slaves by size and then bet on them.
Read.
Finley's master had one slave who weighed 150 pounds and who was an awful good fighter. He was quick like a cat and powerful for his size, and he liked to fight.
Go ahead.
The fighter named Tom would always win the battle quick. Mm-hmm. None lasts long with him. Such was Finley's love of the fights that he disclosed that the contest had made him reconsider his plans for running away to freedom.
Damn, so he wanted to run away, but because of these fights, he dropped running away from freedom. He didn't have that courage to run away from freedom because he liked to go see those fights. Go ahead.
I was thinking about getting freedom. I think, I was going to run off. Then I think of some of the enjoyment on a master's place.
Whoa. So because of him seeing his own people pinned against each other and fighting each other, that was enjoyment to him rather than running away from the slave plantation. He said, I was thinking about running away, but I can't get away from the enjoyment. It's like some of our people today with sports.
Yep. Boxing.
With boxing and so forth.
Wrestling, all that.
Yo, the officer yesterday, he's talking to a brother, and he asked the brother, he know what happened with Gaza and so forth like that. And the brother like, nah, I never heard of that. He's like, nah, I didn't. I don't. He's like, yo, you don't know what's going on over in Palestine? He's like, nah, I don't know. He said, all right, cool. Let me ask you this. Who the Eagles played last week? My man knew every stat. He knew everything. He broke it down. He said, yeah, they got a home game next week. Yeah, they threw for, all the football stats. But to show you how people minds with the sports, man, this is during slavery. It's a slave mentality. Read.
And I think some of the enjoyment on a master's place that I was lacked.
So to get away, in order, rather than get freedom from oppression, to try to get away from his master, he was like, nah, I like them fights, though. That's the only thing that kept him on the plantation. Read.
Such as the corn husking, nigger fights, and the singing. And then I don't know what to do.
You gotta be kidding me. Wow. Entertainment.
Pure coon.
Pure coon. Next page.
Master Coon.
Finley's account illuminates a part of antebellum slave life that has generally been overlooked by historians.
You see that? It's been generally overlooked by historians because they choose to overlook it. Read.
That of organized fighting practices and their role in the lives of enslaved men.
Read.
Some scholars, such as Daniel P. Black, have argued against the possibility that enslaved men could engage in such activities under slavery. For instance, Black contends that besides...
Now, this is Judah right here. We dealing with Judah. Go ahead.
That besides as field beasts and sexual beings, black men were never allowed to demonstrate their physical strength. Mm-hmm. However, contrary to Black's claim, there's evidence that enslaved men engaged in various pursuits.
Like what?
Such as wrestling, as a way to demonstrate their physical prowess. Recently, in a work spanning 3 continents and several centuries.
All right, so read on.
Historian T.J. Desh-Obi has traced the rich martial arts tradition of West and West Central Africa across the Atlantic to the slave communities of North and South America and the Caribbean.
So it wasn't just Judah.
All right. Shoot. I mean, but we dealing with Judah right now in the antebellum South.
Gad was there too.
Yes, Gad was there. You're correct.
They were called black men.
I'm not, what's going on?
They were Negroes.
What are you saying?
This is getting personal.
Hey, am I your enemy because I tell you the truth?
Read on.
Desh-Obi's insightful analysis has done much to highlight this neglected cultural world of African people in the Americas, examining the origins and development of activities such as capoeira, kalinda, and wrestling. This article will build on Desh-Obi's work by analyzing slave testimony to recreate the world of organized slave fights and to explore the implications of these activities for the identities of men enslaved in the antebellum American South.
All right, so we're going to skip some stuff. We're not going to read all of that. Hold on. Yeah, go to the next page. Let me see. Go down. Yeah, start where it says when issues of black masculinity.
When issues of black masculinity have been mentioned in scholarly accounts of slavery, they have usually been studied through the provider/protector roles performed by enslaved men within the context of slave courtship and marriage. Mm-hmm. This article intends to move beyond the now familiar terrain of the roles of enslaved men and women in courtship, marriage, and the family. It will do so by focusing on organized fighting activities such as wrestling and boxing that were engaged in by enslaved men in the antebellum South.
Okay, hold on. Let me see. Skip that page. Let's move on. Hold on. Go down to the bottom. Yep, read that.
The primary source material used in this article includes published narratives written by former slaves and previously unused accounts of enslaved wrestling that appear in the extensive oral interviews conducted with former slaves between 1936 and 1938 by the Federal Writers Project of the Works Progress Administration.
Right. So 1936 to 1938, they did this project. Actually, it was a sister who came up with this project called the Federal Writers Project, where you can go on to the Library of Congress and look up all of those federal writer projects that she did on former slaves. Okay, so they account their lives and what they went through when in slavery. All right, some of these slaves is damn near 100, some 85 years old, and they recounting the lives of what they went through as slaves. Okay, go to the next page. Start at although.
Although formerly enslaved men typically reported engaging in mostly non-combative games as small boys, such as ring games, wolf over the river, and hide and seek. Some also participated in wrestling.
Hide and seek from slavery. Wow. We still play that today. Hide and seek.
Manhunt.
Yeah, manhunt. Oh, yeah, right. Go ahead.
Some also participated.
Hey, these are games we made up as children during slavery. Go ahead.
Some also participated in wrestling. Too young to enter the field and commence serious labor, slave boys typically ran errands and performed light chores. Thus, they had more time for recreation than enslaved adults did. It was not unusual for slave children, while at play, to be joined by the master's children. As Gabriel Gilbert reported, the little white folks and nigger chillin' used to just play around like brother and sister.
Read.
On these occasions, Gilbert added, the slave boys had fights, and thus fight the white boys and niggers just the same.
So hold on. So read that part again. Said the slave what?
Slave boys had fights, and us fight the white boys and niggers just the same.
So we was play around and have fights with Esau and so forth also. Go ahead.
Other narratives document the reciprocal nature of this play. G.W. Offley explained his interaction with his master's son. I learned him the art of wrestling, boxing, and fighting.
For what? Go ahead.
And he learned me to read.
So he said, look, I taught him how to fight. He taught me how to read. Great exchange. Great exchange. You about to say something?
Now, I was going to say something about when you were just talking about the hide and seek. When I was in high school, I went to a Christian school, so it was all, Edomite teachers, whatever. And we would take retreats, and they would play a game when everybody would get in the field and all the teachers get flashlights. They would call it Underground Church, but it was called Underground Railroad. They changed it to church. And they would look for all of us, and we'd be hiding. They would try to find us. But those games stem from slavery. It's like you trying to catch slaves that's hiding. That's what it's talking.
Where the hell was you at that you played Underground Church?
Are you okay?
Yeah.
What is that?
Wow.
So I made it up.
Wait, explain that again.
They called it
PTSD.
Underground.
Man, that's some serious trauma he went through.
I was a slave, bro.
I thought you were going to go to songs.
Yo, hold on. Explain it one more time. Yo,
All right.
Stop the music real quick. I'm trying to understand what was happening.
So they'll have like retreats, whatever, cabins and everything like that.
Okay.
And they'll play.
So you went camping?
Yeah, camping.
All right, cool.
And they let
Then
them
the
loose in the
teachers-
woods and then hunt them
Hold
down
on.
later.
And mind you, this school they had whole riots there for racism there, whatever. So they would take all
At the school, where you
At that
went, they
school
had
before I went
riots for
back.
During
racism.
the riots, they set them loose.
So they would take everybody there,
All right.
and they'd gather all the kids around. All
Okay.
the teachers are white. They'd get flashlights,
And all the
they
kids are
give
black.
all the kids. Majority of them was like 80% of them.
Oh,
they give
man.
all, 10 minutes to run and hide, and they called it Underground Church, but it was Underground Railroad, and they'll find niggas.
Y'all
That's
might
what
as
they
well
were
just
doing.
said slave catcher versus slaves.
Yeah, that's what it was.
God damn.
They're hunting y'all.
Yo, where my sound bite? God damn. Where's that at? God damn. Of course, we don't got that.
Nope.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, man, you
I
went
think
through.
made that back there.
You made it out, man. All praises. God damn. That was in Chester?
Nah, Brookhaven, right next to Chester.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, man. Pray for me,
The
dog.
heart,
Say pray for me.
the Hartzog plantation.
Oh, man. All right. Let's get back into it. Go to the next page.
You had fun too, right?
My man been through it, man. Yeah, how did Hold on. How did you feel?
We got.
Did you enjoy it?
You want to read?
He's the hardest one to catch.
My man's the MVP.
Right.
That's where he learned to
I
eat
never
grass.
got caught. I ain't gonna lie.
Never
That's
got
what I
caught.
said. That's what I said. He never
I
got
never
caught. He's the hardest one.
I did run into a tree one time.
Yo, it's like they just said, yo, set the niggas free, let them run, and let's find them later.
Yo, someone come in your spirit like, yo, I cannot get caught right now. So you just start running.
Yo, it's like they made y'all runaway slaves.
Yeah.
That's what they made y'all. It was like a game of runaway slaves or something. Wow. All right. You probably wish you kept that in.
Kinda. All praise.
All right, let's get back into it, man. Wow. Go down. Let me see if I want anything out of here. You been through life, man.
The picture says the Sabbath among slaves.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, go look at the top. Read that.
The Sabbath Among Slaves, Henry Bibb. Narrative of the life and adventures of Harry Bibb, an American slave, written by himself.
Now, you got to be careful because when Esau counted was the Sabbath,
Sunday.
it was Sunday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's, you know. Go down. The most common.
The most common accounts of organized slave fights record those held at corn shuckings. As mentioned above, these were grand occasions affectionately remembered by the formerly enslaved as a time when they could indulge in various forms of amusement. One such amusement was the wrestling match after the corn was shucked. Carter J. Jackson recalled how they had some good fights between men on the plantation at corn shuckings, but no one was killed. He stated, they matched fights between the niggers from the different plantations.
So there were fights matched between those of us from different plantations. Okay, remember the gladiators? When we was gladiators in ancient Rome, we was in different gladiatorial schools. Now here it's just plantations. They had us matched in different plantations. Go ahead.
The masters of the two men fighting managed to fight to see it was fair. As Jackson,
So it's no different. What it means by to see if it was fair, they do that in boxing today. They make sure the same weight. They got different weight classes. Yeah. That's how they made sure it was fair. Okay, same height maybe. Okay, he just amount of pounds. Make sure he just the same amount of pounds. Make sure he lose weight to get to his same thing. That's where it comes from. It comes from slavery. Read.
As Jackson's testimony demonstrates, organized cross-plantation wrestling and boxing bouts were staged by the slaveholders who supervised the events. Another ex-slave detailed occasions that included many fighters from two plantations, a crowd from Big Harper and a crowd from Little Harper. After the shucking, contestants were given whiskey, and there'd be plenty of fighting.
Whoa, so they got us drunk. Contestants was given whiskey. They got us drunk to fight. Read.
And there'd be plenty of fighting, whereby Little Harper white folks would take up for their darkies, and the Big Harper white folks would do the same. Certainly, many
take up mean they were cheering on their particular plantation, cheering on their fighters from their plantation. Go ahead.
Certainly, many of the enslaved relished the opportunity and classed the matches as amusements where everybody made the most of it. One former slave commented on the matches, "I used to think them was the best times."
Damn. To see us fight each other was the best times.
Sometimes masters raised some of their enslaved men as prize fighters.
So sometimes the masters was raised some of their enslaved men as prize fighters. Just like swordsmen. Read.
And arranged fights with other slaves from different plantations.
You see that? Gladiators. Read.
They do that now in boxing.
Yes,
got
they
the
do it now.
promoter, you got the fighter.
Same thing. All come from slavery, man. Go ahead.
For money throughout the year. Oscar Felix Jr. related how as soon as his father...
That's all I want on that. That's all I want. You can drop that. Hey, matter of fact, let's take a quick break and we'll get back. We'll get the next article and then we'll get back into Titus and so forth. All right, the destruction. All right, so look, we're going to take a quick break, all right? You can call us at 267-702-6121. Hey, the phones are working again? Nah, just text. All right. So you could text us at 267-702-6121. Again, you could text us at 267-702-6121. All right? We'll see you after the break.
To the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greetings. So the same mission the disciples had is our mission today. Our mission is unlike any other mission throughout the world. I want everybody to understand that. Okay? There's no group on earth who has undertaken the true mission of the disciples of Christ to resurrect and gather the 12 tribes of Israel which have been scattered abroad. You may call it the diaspora today. The Bible uses other words, the scattered. Okay? But it's the same thing. Our people who suffered during the time of colonialization, forced migration, sub-Saharan slave trade, transatlantic slave trade, and it seems like our people have been forgotten. But you are not forgotten.
Leon may have not known that East New York was widely known for slavery. The Dutch in the late 1600s, when they left Flatbush because Flatbush was overcrowded, they came to East New York to build new plantations for who? Slaves.
Now, having a large portion of the neighborhood residents having Caribbean roots, people often think that the town is named after the island Jamaica. But the truth is, in 1664, when the English came and took over the area, they called the land Jamaica.
See, Wall Street, before it was the financial district of New York, it was actually the first slave market.
Yankee Stadium. Most gladiators were slaves. They were subject to a rigorous training, fed on high-energy diet, and given expert medical attention.
Currently known Van Cortlandt House, which is standing right behind me, was previously well known for being a slave plantation. Yes, you heard me correctly, a slave plantation.
Hey, shalom, most high Christ bless. This is Captain Hananiah from IURC Los Angeles, out here in Kumasi, Ghana, building the minds of our people and bringing them back to the Lord in righteousness. You got a lot of people who just went to church and they got dead spirits, and we doing things they not doing. We cleaning up the community. We fixing the gutters, we filling the potholes in. We working hard out here to let our people understand that only way it's gonna get done is through us. We can't rely or wait on another nation to do the work for us. So we here in Kumasi, Ghana, waking the minds of our people up with the word of God. All praises to the Most High. He put the Spirit on Bishop Nathaniel and the bishops, the deacons, the captains, the officers, the soldiers, who's in this work, enduring day in and day out, and getting work done throughout the four corners of the earth. Let's continue to build, and you men, wherever you at, make sure you fixing your communities, make sure you cleaning your communities, and make sure you being the pillar in your communities. Thus saith the Lord. All right? Shalom. What's that?
Man, Jehovah's Witness got obliterated, bro. Today was a day of war, and the Most High got the victory. Who's the king? Christ! Who's the king? Christ! Fifth, patient, salvation! The truth! Fifth, patient, salvation! The truth! Unity! 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 That's right! That's right! I'm finding my brethren! Be shown to the Lord! And the power is mine! It's what? It's mine! It's what? It's mine! It's what? It's mine! It's what? Hey, do you think he's been a faithful witness to God or a liar? Honestly. A liar. A liar. Get that. Proverbs 14:5. Proverbs 14:5. That is it. Is he Jehovah's Witness or us?
Proverbs chapter 14 and verse 5. A faithful witness will not lie.
A faithful witness will not lie.
But a false witness will utter lies.
But a false witness will utter lies. Don't run tell Master that.
Sole purpose for coming out here is to gather the elect of our brothers and sisters scattered in the diaspora.
King Solomon was the son of King David. Jesus Christ comes from that bloodline. That's it. Jesus Christ is not a white man. Jesus Christ is a black man.
Those brokenhearted, read on from what? To preach deliverance to the captives and recovery of sight to the blind.
Recovering the sight to the blind, those that have been blinded through religion, because religion teaches us everything outside of the Bible.
Hay solución en Ecuador, Venezuela, Colombia, Sudamérica, Chile, Argentina, México, Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, todos donde están las 12 tribus.
Jesus, igual a pintadeira, a cabeça deu, a cabeça.
Now we are lost sheep. We have to go back to encourage ourselves that we are Israelites.
Hold up, we're coming up. Righteous woman covered up. We honest, stay modest. We persevere for the promise. Put it in work. Helping our brothers and helping the church. Put it in work. Helping our sisters come out of the dirt. The other nations, they tryna do what we do. The devils take us where the children of the book. The other nations, they tryna do what we do. Black is beautiful and they know that's the truth.
Get it and go, the game in trouble, everything that you know, it came with a struggle, we shine like gold, I came from nothing, the weight of the world, and we ain't pulling muscle, we ain't pulling muscle, and we ain't pulling muscle, the weight of the world, we ain't pulling muscle, and we ain't pulling muscle, we get it and go, the game in trouble, everything that you know, it came with a struggle, we shine like gold, I came from nothing, the weight of the world, and we ain't pulling muscle.
There will come a time when black people wake up and become intellectually independent enough to think for themselves, as other humans are intellectually independent enough to think for themselves. Then the black man will feel for other black people. And this new thinking and feeling will cause black people to stick together. And then at that point, you'll have a situation where when you attack one black man, you are attacking all black men.
He shall set up an ensign for all the nations. The word Gentiles means nations. And shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth.
Seen what we just seen. It's hot in the Plantation. Hold it!
You can tell by my gait that I'm all in. You can tell by my faith that I'm all in. Front line with the truth, I'ma fall in. Even if it's a dead end, going all in. You can tell by the things I'm involved in. I can lose it all for my calling. If I die for the truth, it's a win-win. And do it to the
Hey, shalom, shalom. We back from the break. All praises. Hey, I know we sidebar, but remember, I'm just showing y'all the parallels between us as gladiators in ancient Rome and how they made us gladiators over here in Americas during slavery. Okay? Now, remember we read how they made us gladiators in Jamaica. They made us swordsmen over in Jamaica, Barbados, and Ireland. Now, don't forget about Haiti, Cuba, and so forth. They made us gladiators all over the Caribbeans, all over the Americas, just like they did in ancient Rome. All right. So, with that being said, how do you think the Haitian Revolution came about? Okay, the Haitian Revolution. How do you think that came about? Okay, remember we was swordsmen, so we took that art, taught each other, and that's how we end up rising up. That's how Levi ended up rising up and overthrowing the French. All right, now watch this. Read this.
The Haitian Machete Fencing Project. Haitian machete fencing is a functional martial art with deep roots in Haitian history.
So hold on. Haitian machete fencing is a functional martial art with deep roots in Haitian history. Go ahead.
Our project is dedicated to promoting and teaching this system worldwide. Over the course of a 10-year apprenticeship with master fencer Alfred Alvaro, we have been privileged to...
Hey, remember, we don't take up no arms, anything. I just want to throw that out there. We just reading about the history of the fact that they made us gladiators on this side. They made us gladiators on this side, and how we took that knowledge of being swordsmen over here and overthrew the French in the Revolution. All right, we don't condone taking up any arms at all. Okay, go ahead.
We have been
because the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. They're not carnal. All right, they're spiritual. All right, read.
We have been privileged to document this art form in ways never before seen by the wider world. First, through our many rough-cut training videos, and later through collaboration on the documentary short film Papa Machete.
Mm-hmm.
We have also been honored to welcome many serious-minded foreigners to our training intensives at the Averill family homestead in Haiti. Though Professor...
So Alfred, that's Alfred Alvaro right there, okay? All right, Esau went over there and learned the art from him. They learned the art from him. Go ahead.
Though Professor Averill passed away in December 2014, his sons and other committed students have received his blessing to continue his practice.
So his sons, he passed it down. So it's like a family tradition passed down. All right, pass it down. He passed away. His sons, he passed the tradition down to his sons. Go ahead.
Our 9-day summer training intensives continue to attract students from all over the world. After a hiatus due to COVID-19, a political instability in Haiti, we begin hosting these intensives once again with additional precautions in place. Our next program is scheduled for July 2024. If you are interested in joining us, please see our Training in Haiti page for details.
All right, go down. Let me see. Oh, yeah, read that part. In Haiti.
In Haiti, the traditional art of machete fencing goes by many names. Among the tire machete, pulling machetes, tire machete has roots in the Haitian Revolution.
So it has roots in the Haitian Revolution. Read.
When the revolutionaries were often forced to fight with fewer guns and soldiers. Its combination of ancestral African combat systems proved highly effective both in battle and as a means of individual self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
Since that time, a multitude of styles and training methods have proliferated.
Read.
Though many of these practices remain shrouded in secrecy.
So many of the practices remain shrouded in secrecy. Okay, it's in secret. Go ahead. Meaning it's kept amongst the family. Go ahead.
Haitian master fencer Alfred Averill extended an invitation to foreigners serious about learning this martial art.
So he's the first one to open it up to Esau. Esau went over there, and just like in slavery, they wanted to learn. They wanted to learn. Go ahead.
To come to Haiti to train with him. Over the course of our 10-year collaboration.
And we always have compassion on Esau and let them in. I don't get it. We let them in time and time again. just something we do. Just something we do. We just let them on in. Remember, it was shrouded in secrecy. Now Esau just get to come in and learn. Go ahead.
Over the course of our 10-year collaboration, we had the opportunity to learn and to introduce many others to his practice.
And they now everybody know about it. Go ahead.
In general, tire machete is practiced in relative secrecy. Family traditions are a closely guarded possession to be passed down through the generations, and only trusted members of the community are permitted to participate in or even observe training sessions.
Wait. Read that again. Read it again.
In general, tire machete is practiced in relative secrecy. Family traditions are a closely guarded possession to be passed down through the generations.
Read.
And only trusted members of the community.
Wait, only trusted members of the community. Go ahead.
Are even permitted to participate in or even observe training sessions.
So only trusted members. So wait a minute. Esau, he's a trusted member now? You see what I'm saying? We just have compassion on this man. We look at him as God. Let God in. Says trusted members of the community are permitted to participate in or even observe. So you can either participate or watch, but only trusted members of the family, of the community. Go ahead.
Students from farther afield must demonstrate great loyalty to their fencing professor in order to gain admittance.
Hey, officers, you know what it is? It be vainglory on our people's part because they see Esau's media, television. They like, yo, I want to be known too.
They think they gonna get something out of it. That's all. Yeah. Esau come to you like, oh, we give you this, that, fame or whatever if you teach us.
Yeah.
You will get notoriety if you teach us. Go ahead. Go down.
That tire machete, it looks like, because in Spanish theater, that's like throwing. So it's probably calling it like throwing machetes or throwing machete. Sound like that. That's what it looks like.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure what it means in Creole, but that's what it looks like in Spanish.
Okay. Go down.
Tire machete.
Go down. These are his sons. All right, so a brief history.
Machete throwing.
Machete throwing?
Basically, yeah.
A brief history. Go ahead, read that.
In Haiti, before the revolution of 1791 to 1804, when it was called Saint-Domingue.
Saint-Domingue.
Saint-Domingue. Slaves of African ancestry struggled to keep alive their traditional practices of stick and blade combat by holding clandestine competitions called kalenda.
Kalenda comes from Africa. That's what we was practicing over in West Africa. Kalenda. Stick and blade combat. And Northern Kingdom call it grima, right?
Grima, yeah.
Grima. Go ahead.
At the same time, many of the free people of color sought social advancement through service in the French military, where they absorbed the techniques of European dueling culture. Notably, the Haitian fencer Jean-Louis Michel was among the most accomplished European-style fencers of the Napoleonic era. When widespread insurrection finally broke out, the art of machete fencing emerged to play an important part in combat.
You see that? Remember what we read all the time, we had that art amongst us. We was already skilled and so forth in swordsman, as being swordsmen, in swordsmanship. Remember they called it science of defense. We was martial artists in the science of defense. Go ahead.
When widespread insurrection finally broke out, the art of machete fencing emerged to play an important part in combat, since the insurgents were often unable to provide guns and ammunition for all of their soldiers. Since that time, tire machete has served mostly as a means of individual self-defense among farmers who work day in, day out with a machete in their hand to this day.
Right. All right, you can drop that. Let me see. Yeah, you can drop that. Let's get an example. All right, so no sound, right? This is the brother Alfred Alvarez demonstrating the tire machete. Matter of fact, I'm about to say don't even. I don't want to chance it, but You sure we good? You sure we?
You can play it. Well, it's one of those we really don't know if it's going to get.
Nah, don't play. Don't. It's all right. It's all right. Yeah, don't worry about it.
Did you skip to the part or no?
Nah.
Okay.
Yeah, don't mess with it. All right, let's move on. All right, so let's get back. I know we sidebar a lot. Go back to page, give me page 312. Go back to page 312, all right? So let's get back into the destruction. Go to the bottom of, right. They had. Start at use. 311. Start at use at the bottom right there. Use.
Youths under the age of 16 and most of the female captives were sold into slavery at an incredibly low price, for the market was glutted. How many scenes of horror must have been witnessed and enacted by those unfortunate ones?
Read.
They had, it is true, one ray of comfort left. Possibly they might be carried to some Roman town where a Judean community existed.
Right, so that was our hopes. Remember, they sold us as slaves. So one of our comforts was that we'll be carried to a Roman town where there would still be a community of us there. Go ahead.
Their own people would assuredly give any sum to purchase their freedom and would then treat them with brotherly sympathy.
Read.
Vespasian now declared that all Judea was his property by conquest and bade the Roman officials divide the country into lots.
Balfour Declaration in ancient Rome. So he divided our land into lots. Okay? Divided our land into lots. All right? Just like they did with Africa as a whole. They divided the land of Africa into lots. French came in, Portugal, the British came in, all right? Germany came in. They all took different parts, which was called the Balfour Declaration. Bishop went over that yesterday. Go ahead.
Offering them to the highest bidder. Now, why should he not do so? Had he not fertilized the land with blood? Besides which, the sale would realize great profits.
Oh, and this right here is pretty much the same as what Rothschild did. When he, because remember when Amalek went into our land, I think he pretty much did the same thing. Rothschild. Remember, he signed the declaration for them to go into our land, to take over the land. Yeah. All right, so this is what Vespasian was doing in ancient Rome. Go ahead, read it again.
And why should he not do so? Had he not fertilized the land with blood? Besides which, the sale would realize great profits, and Vespasian cared even more for gold than for honor. And what was the work?
There's a scripture Bishop brought up. They cast our land for prey. Cast our land for prey. Like you come in, you could take pretty much Amalek all over, Khazars all over. Come into the land. Come into the land. Okay, to take over the land.
Ezekiel 36 and 5.
Yeah, read that.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 36 and verse 5. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession, with the joy of all their heart, with the spiteful minds, to cast it out for a prey.
You come take a part of land. You come take a part of land. Read that part again. Read it again. Read it again. I'm talking to you, the page. Read the page. Go back to the part.
Go up.
Come on, brothers. Vespasian?
Vespasian now declared that all Judea was his property by conquest and bade the Roman officials divide the country into lots.
Now read Ezekiel 36 and 5 again.
Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession.
So they did it during the time of Rome, and they also did it today. Read on.
With the joy of all their heart, with the spiteful minds, to cast it out for a prey.
To cast it out for a prey. Divide it into lots. All right, give me Ezekiel 7:24.
Read that verse 2 down.
Read on.
Because it says Vespasian declared that all Judea was his property by conquest.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 6?
Yeah, 2.
Oh, verse 2. Thus saith the Lord God.
Yep. Yeah,
Because the enemy have said against you, aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession.
It's our property by conquest. We took it. Read.
Therefore, prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord God, because they have made you desolate.
We've been made desolate. We're desolate now. We were desolate then during the destruction. Read.
And swallowed you up on every side, that ye might be a possession unto the residue of the heathen.
So not only is our land under their possession and they declare it that is their possession, we're also their possession. We've been desolate, right? Read.
And ye are taken up in the lips of talkers, and are an infamy of the people. Therefore, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord God. Thus saith the Lord God to the mountains, and to the hills, to the rivers, and to the valleys, to the desolate waters, and to the cities that are forsaken, which became a prey, and derision to the residue of the heathen that are round about. Thus saith the Lord God, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, which have appointed my land into their possession, with the joy of all their heart, with the spiteful minds, to cast it out for a prey.
So they did it during the time of Nebuchadnezzar. They did it during the time of the Greeks, the Romans, and now today they're doing the same thing. But now they're trying to actually establish division and make that whole region, the promise that was given to our forefather Abraham, from the Euphrates to the Nile, that's what they're trying to do today. They were never able to do that, but now they're actually, the power's in their hand now to fulfill it. So they're trying to do it. They're trying to, establish division like the scripture says.
Just to prove his point, they did it during the time of Babylon. Give me first Esdras 4 and 50. Read 45 and then jump to 50. And then jump to 49 and 50.
Yes, sir. The book of First Ezra, chapter 4 and verse 45. Thou also hast vowed to build up the temple, which the Edomites burned.
Start at 44.
And to send away all the vessels that were taken away out of Jerusalem, which Cyrus set apart, when he vowed to destroy Babylon, and to send them again thither. Thou also hast vowed to build up the temple, which the Edomites burned, when Jerusalem was made desolate by the Chaldees. When Judea was made desolate by the Chaldees.
Right, so Esau was behind the burning of our temple. Okay, our first temple. All right, when Babylon came in, they was behind that. All right, now jump to 49.
Verse 49. Moreover, he wrote for all the Jews that went out of his realm up into Jewry, concerning their freedom, that no officer, no ruler, no lieutenant, nor treasurer should forcibly enter into their doors.
Read.
And that all the country which they hold should be free without tribute. And that the Edomites...
That who?
That the Edomites...
Read.
Should give over the villages of the Jews, which then they held.
Yo, they always wanted our land. Over and over and over again. They always wanted our land. Now give me Psalms 83 and 12. What was that?
The book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 12.
Hold on. Let me get there. Read verse 2. Read 1 and 2. Go ahead, read. I'll tell you when to jump.
Yes, sir. Book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
So God has enemies. King David letting us know that God has, Asaph is letting us know that God has enemies. All right, he has enemies, and they've taken crafty counsel against us, his people. Read.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
And consulted against his hidden ones. Now jump to verse 6.
Verse 6. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes.
Jump to 12. What did they do?
Verse 12. Who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession.
So they said, let us take to ourselves the houses of God into our possession. Okay, like we read, they did it. Babylon, here in Rome, and likewise today. All right. Now, go back to the page.
Vespasian now declared that all Judea was his property by conquest, and bade the Roman officials divide the country into lots, offering them to the highest bidder.
Read.
And why should he not do so? Had he not fertilized the land with blood? Besides which, the sale would realize great profits, and Vespasian cared even more for gold than for honor. And what was the work of the merciful Titus after ordering the execution of thousands and co-signing thousands to slavery?
So he co-signed thousands of us to slavery.
In his march through Syria, he was followed by the most vigorous of his captives in chains.
So he had a procession. He had a procession of us, a parade. He paraded us through Rome, through Syria, okay, in chains. Read.
When he held his court in Caesarea and entertained his friends in true Roman style, wild beasts were brought into the arena, and Judean captives fought with them until they were torn to death.
You see that? In the same Colosseum and arenas that we built. Read.
Or they were forced to fight one against another, dying by each other's hands. Thus at Caesarea, 2,500 brave Judean youths perished in this manner to celebrate the birthday of Domitian.
To celebrate the birthday of his brother Domitian. Okay. All right. Understand, we was always dying by their hands on their birthdays. All right. But on their birthdays. All right. We don't get into that birthday stuff. All right. Go ahead.
The brother of the conqueror. And at Caesarea Philippi on Mount Hermon, the residence of King Agrippa, this terrible spectacle was renewed before the eyes of that monarch and of the princess Berenice. Vespasian's birthday was honored in the same way at Berytus, the sand of the...
So only the heathen love their birthdays. The heathen love their birthdays, and they did the most horrible, horrific things to us on their birthdays. Go ahead.
The sand of the arena being literally soaked with Judean blood. In fact, the gentleness and humanity of Titus were strangely displayed in all cities of Syria by a repetition of these barbarities. The Judean communities in Syria, Asia Minor, Alexandria, and Rome very nearly shared the fate of their brethren in Judea, for the war had aroused the hatred of the entire heathen world against the unfortunate children of Israel, a hatred which was fanatical in its intensity, its object being the entire destruction of the whole race. Titus's inmost feelings must have coincided with those of his people.
Go down, jump down. Yes, read. Yeah, I want to get to Simon Bar Gora. I want to get to him. Go ahead.
Titus determined to celebrate his triumph over Judea in the capital of the empire. For this purpose, 700 of the flower of the Judean captives and the 2 leaders of the zealots, John of Gascala, who had surrendered to the enemy when feigning with hunger, and Simon Bar Giora, were sent to Rome.
Read.
At the close of the siege of Jerusalem, the dauntless Simon had leaped with some of his followers into one of the vaults beneath the city, and, provided with workmen's tools, had attempted to hew his way out.
So he tried to build a tunnel, underground tunnel. Go ahead.
But coming upon a great rock, he was prevented from accomplishing his purpose, and the slender stock of provisions failing him, he determined to die as became a hero. In a white robe, covered with a purple mantle, he suddenly appeared before the Roman sentinels who were reposing amongst the ruins of the temple. They gazed at him with terror. He merely addressed them with the following words: "Take me to your general." When Rufus appeared at the sentinel's call, the leader of the zealots presented himself before the astonished gaze, saying, "I am Simon Bar Giora." He was instantly thrown into chains and calmly awaited the fate that he knew was in store for him.
Watch this, read.
Vespasian and his 2 sons, Titus and Domitian, celebrated their triumph over Judea and the imperial city of Rome. In front of the emperor were borne the vessels of the temple.
So they took the vessels of our temple. Go ahead.
The 7-branch candlestick.
The 7-branch candlestick. The 7-branch candlestick. Go ahead.
The golden table.
They had the golden table.
And a roll of the law.
And a roll of our laws with them that they took out of our temple. Go ahead.
The Romans were further gladdened by the pageant of a long train of Judean captives heavily chained, and by the wonderful representations of all the horrors and miseries of the war, a kind of theatrical entertainment devised with much ingenuity for the occasion. Simon Bar-Giora, the terrible foe of the Roman legions, with a halter round his neck, was dragged through the streets of Rome and finally hurled as a human sacrifice to the gods from the Tarpeian rock.
So they threw him off a cliff. Go ahead.
John of Gacala met with his fate in a dungeon. Tiberius Alexander, the conqueror of his own race, shared in the triumph, and a statue was erected in his honor in the Forum.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Josephus was but a spectator of the scene.
There you go Josephus again. Now he's able to watch these things happen to his own people. Go ahead.
This magnificent triumph, the like of which had not been witnessed for many years in Rome, was a proof of the exultant joy which passed like a wave over the heathen world. At the fall of Judea...
Wait, that exultant joy was our destruction over the heathen world. They wanted to see our destruction. Okay, go ahead.
Which passed like a wave over the heathen world. At the fall of Judea, for the Roman legions had but rarely met with so obstinate a foe. To commemorate this great victory, coins were struck, upon which Judea was variously represented, as a sorrowing woman under a palm tree, either standing with fettered hands or seated in a despairing attitude upon the ground.
Mm-hmm.
The coins bore these inscriptions: the conquered, or the captive Judea. Judea Davidica, Judea captive.
Hey, can we get a coin? Can we see that coin? Can we get a coin of our destruction that that Rome struck? Yeah, just put Judea captive coin. Yep. Yep, you can pick any one of them. Well, not any one. Yep, that's it. Blow it up. So this is the actual coin right here. It says Judea captive. All right, you have a Roman legion there. You have one of our sisters under a palm tree, sorrowing. All right, so this is the actual coin that was struck in Rome when they destroyed us, when they destroyed our temple, when they destroyed our city, Jerusalem. All right.
That reminds me of that script in Judges 3, where it said Amalek and Ammon took the city of the palm trees.
Right, get that.
The book of Judges, chapter 3 and verse 13. And he gathered unto him the children of Ammon and Amalek, and went and smote Israel, and possessed the city of palm trees.
See that? Possessed the city of palm trees. All right. All praises. Good scripture. Good scripture. All right. You can take that down. Go back. All right. Where we at? Where we at? The Roman Judeans. You didn't finish? Yeah, go ahead. Read on.
The coins bore these inscriptions: the conquered, or the captive Judea, Judea Davidica, Judea captive. Later on, a beautiful arch was erected to Titus, which is still standing, and upon which the carved reliefs of the candlestick and vessels of the temple are plainly visible.
Can we get that real quick? The arch, it's called the Arch of Titus. The Arch of Titus. Still, you can still go see it today.
They have replicas of it, too, throughout the world. I think they have one in Brooklyn.
Yeah, yep.
Arch of Titus.
Get one. Okay, that's the arch right there.
It's the ark was always built as a sign of triumph over their enemies, over the enslaved. So anytime you see that, it's nothing to really be awe-inspired of. It's really a sign of their conquest.
Mm-hmm. Now get it where they have us the relief of the
of them carrying
of Rome carrying our menorah and all of that, and our showbread.
Just put Ark of Titus, and you should see images pop up.
Yep. There you go.
Yep. You know what I was reading too, just now in an article, that when 70 AD happened, the Ishmaelites helped Esau destroy Herod's temple at that time.
Damn, where that's at?
I could send it. So it's the same thing. And then eventually over time, the Romans just took the Ishmaelites over.
Hey, now
it's
that
like what they're doing now.
Yeah, now that you say that, watch this. You can go ahead and get that.
All right.
That's why Psalms 83 said.
Oh, my goodness.
Yo, let me live, bro. Yo, let me live, bro. We just read Psalms 83.
Oh, man. Yo, go ahead. Bring it out, bro.
All praise, but we all said it at the same time. But that's why it said the tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites together.
Y'all funny.
Yo, this guy, bro. What the hell?
Yeah, what was that about?
Yeah.
It's made that back there.
He don't play Psalms 83.
Hey, bring up with obviously I can got, and then the page that I have.
You're gonna bring it up. It's gonna be at the bottom, towards the bottom, after it says like the Batians in the Bible.
Hey, what you understand is that Esau and Ishmael was always plotting on our land. They was always plotting against us. Okay? Always. You got it?
Yeah, the decline of the kingdom, all the way at the bottom, all the way at the bottom, all the way at the bottom. The decline of the kingdom. Yeah, right there.
Following Aretas the Fourth's death.
Aretas, he's the same. He's the descendant of the Aretas we read about in the Maccabees, the one that killed the who was it that ran away and got killed?
Oh, I forgot the brother.
I forget.
He was an evil nigga.
Yeah, so it was Aretas the first that killed him when he tried to flee into Ishmael's land. He tried to get refuge,
right?
But he ended up dying. So this is his descendant. So,
hey, look that up. Look that. Somebody find that scripture. You go ahead. No, you read.
Yeah, read. Also.
You read.
Oh, and also, remember Herod was married to one of the Ishmaelites' daughters. I think his, one of their daughters, he was married to him, and that's who he divorced in order to marry his brother's wife, which John corrected him for, and then he got beheaded for it. So he was married to an Ishmaelite and divorced her in order to marry his brother's wife.
Oh, damn.
Right.
So the Ishmaelites and Esau, they always had they were always confederate with each other.
They was plotting.
They were always confederate with each other.
Remember Esau when he married the Ishmaelite when he first in Genesis.
Yeah.
Remember
that
Abraham
was
mad.
his third
Isaac
wife.
was mad about that.
That was his third wife.
They had already made an alliance.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's 2 Maccabees 5 and 7.
So the two rejects, Ishmael and Esau,
align
with each other.
They always align with each other.
They're not chosen.
And I'm gonna show you that on the page. But read this. Go ahead, read that.
Following Aretas the Fourth's death, his son Malichus assumed the Nabatean throne. Slowly, the Nabateans lost sections of its territory to skirmishes with the Romans on its borders. The loss caused Malichus to attempt courting the Romans' favor by sending Nabatean soldiers to help attack Jerusalem and destroy Herod's temple in 70 AD.
Damn.
So the Ishmaelites, no bomb, it's okay. So the Ishmaelites helped Rome destroy us and take us out of our land.
You can't make this up.
During 70 AD.
Yo, we got to get the actual book. We need an actual book on that.
Yeah, we got to look at it. I'll look into it.
Bro, you can't make that up.
Dang.
Where is it? Keep going down. Now read the next paragraph. The next
Nabatean king was Rebel II, who succeeded Malichus after his death. The Nabateans loved Rebel II, even though he continued to lose more territory to the Romans. Eventually, the Nabateans lost their high status in the region, and Rome annexed the entire kingdom on behalf of Emperor Trajan. The kingdom then became the new province of Arabia.
So they allied with Rome for 70 AD, and then eventually Esau just took over completely, which is what you see happening today over there now. They were both together, they're allied.
Right.
And then now they're slowly, little by little, pushing Ishmael out and taking over.
So just like when Vespasian said, come get a piece of the land, don't be surprised. Ishmael was a part of that.
Let's get Joel 3 and 2.
Damn.
It's the same thing all over again. It never fails.
History repeats itself, man.
It's the same spirits coming back doing the same exact thing. In the end, Esau will use anybody to push forth their vision. If they got to get with Ishmael, Moab, to get us out of there, guess what? They're going to turn on them too to establish the vision. Job 3 and 2.
They will all come together to fight against us because they hate us. And then after that,
they hate us.
Then they fight each other.
And they fight each other.
Book of Joel, chapter 3 and verse 2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations.
Which will happen in 70 A.D. Ishmael, Esau came together. They scattered us amongst the nations. And what they do?
And parted my land.
And they parted the land. And then what? They start fighting amongst each other like you see right now happening today. The same thing all over again.
That's heavy. That's heavy. Get the page. Now watch this. This is the land back off of what Officer Yakin has brought up. This is, go back out. This is from the Jewish Quarterly Review. All right. The Jewish Quarterly Review always got some good stuff in it. It's the book is scattered. When you look at the contents, it's scattered all over the place with different topics and so forth. But you will find something in there.
Those are always good books. The quarterly reviews, you always find something.
You always will find something.
You gotta look for it.
Yeah, that's the thing. You gotta go in, you know what I mean? All right, but watch this.
Finally, an unknown account of the same period, 1187 and 1188, unfortunately incomplete by the famous Eleazar de Worms, edited from the unique MS, and the rich library of Baron H. de Gunsberg at St. Petersburg. Of the same Eleazar, we possess a few unedited lines on the same subject, which are all to be found in his commentary on the prayers.
Read. Go down. Yeah, you go read the next highlight.
We read in the MS of the Bodleian Library, number 1204, 15b, column 2, as follows.
All right, so it's in Hebrew. Go ahead.
Make us glad.
But read on.
Make us glad according to the days wherein thou hast afflicted us.
So this is us. This is written 1188 A.D. This is what we were writing. Watch this. Read it again from the top.
Make us glad according to the days wherein thou hast afflicted us.
So that's from Psalms. Officer Abaddon.
90 and 15.
From Psalms 90 and 15, read.
According to the death which afflicted us, and according to the years of misfortune and exile.
In exile. So obviously we in Spain. We scattered all over at this time. Go ahead.
So now in the year 4948 AM, 1188 AD, when Ismail,
the who?
Ismail, the Arabs,
the who?
The Arabs.
When Ishmael, the Arabs, read.
And Edom, the Christians,
read.
Fight over the possession of Jerusalem.
So they fight over the possession. When they fight over the possession of Jerusalem, read.
All of them call out to us.
All of them call out to us, read.
We shall kill you.
What they say? How they call out to us?
First, we shall kill you.
So before they take our land, they call out to us and say, first, we gonna kill you. That's they hate. That's that hatred they have against us. They like, first, we gonna kill you. Go ahead.
But we hope for the help of God. For we do not know what to do for the protection of our lives when they put on the garment of the cross.
You see that? So it said, but we hope for the help of God. So at this time, we was hoping for the help of God. All right? For it says, for we do not know what to do for the protection of our lives. All right? But what we see here is it says Ishmael, the Arabs, letting you know who the Arabs is, letting you know who Ishmael is. And Edom, the Christians, fight over the possession of Jerusalem. But they say, first we shall kill you Israelites. First we should kill you blacks and Hispanics, and then we would take the land. All right?
Now that reminded me of Maccabees. Remember when they was coming against the land, and all of them yelled out the help of God?
Mm-hmm.
They was coming to fight. Yeah.
Get that second Maccabees 5 now.
5 and 8, right?
Start at verse 7.
Okay. Second Maccabees chapter 5 and verse 7. Howbeit, for all this, he obtained not the principality, but at the last received shame for the reward of his treason, and fled again into the country of the Ammonites. In the end, therefore...
Where you at?
2 Maccabees 5 and verse 8 now.
Start at verse 5. Let's get who we talking about here.
2 Maccabees chapter 5 and verse 5. Now when there was gone forth a false rumor as though Antiochus had been dead, Jason took at the least 1,000 men and suddenly made an assault upon the city. And they that were upon the walls being put back, and the city at length taken, Menelaus fled into the castle. But Jason slew his own citizens without mercy.
There's another Negro who hated his own people and killing us without mercy. His own people. Read.
Not considering that to get the day of them of his own nation would be a most unhappy day for him. But thinking they had been his enemies and not his countrymen whom he had conquered.
Read.
Howbeit, for all this he obtained not the principality. But at the last...
After all of this he went through, he still didn't get the principality that he wanted. Read.
But at the last received shame for the reward of his treason, and fled again into the country of the Ammonites.
So he went against Ammon, the so-called Japanese today. Read.
In the end, therefore, he had an unhappy return, being accused before Aretas, the king of the Arabians.
The king of the who?
The Arabians.
Read.
Fleeing from city to city, pursued of all men.
Everybody was after his bond. Read.
Hated as a forsaker of the laws, and being had in abomination as an open enemy of his countrymen.
Read.
Of his country and countrymen. He was cast out into Egypt.
Verse 9.
Thus, he that had driven many out of their country perished in a strange land, retiring to the Lacedaemonians, and thinking there to find secure by reason of his kindred.
So he said he thought to find secure by reason of his kindred. Go ahead.
And he...
because that's Spartans. That's the Spartans. That's our people.
Right.
Go ahead.
And he that had cast out many unburied had none to mourn for him, nor any solemn funerals at all, nor sepulchre with his fathers.
All right. So what we wanted out of that is that he fled to the Arabs, seeking succor, seeking comfort. They ran him out. All the other nations ran him up out of there. Okay, until he came back to his own people, which was us which was the Spartans, and eventually he died. All right. Give me history. I want to go over this before we close out. What happened to Titus? Get me for destroying the temple. History of the Jewish nation, page 30.
Hey, also remember y'all brought out earlier in the episodes about Aretas. He was the ancestor of the king in Second Corinthians that Paul was fleeing from. He had to flee the city.
Yeah, in Damascus.
Yeah.
That was Aretas the Fourth.
Yes. Okay.
That was the same one we just read about, Aretas the Fourth.
Ah.
It said the Jews incited Aretas to go after him, to go after Paul because he started believing in Christ.
Oh, damn.
Right. Yep. Go to the next page. What page is this? 29. Go to 29. I think I gave you the page. I don't know. Right here. Read that real quick before we close out. Real quick. Jewish legend.
A Jewish legend has embellished this circumstance by describing in the most fabulous terms certain tortures.
Hold on. Go up and see if I wanted something up top. Yeah, read that. Wherever the victor appeared.
Wherever the victor appeared, at Panis, Berytus, and in other Syrian towns, festivities were celebrated in honor of himself, of the Emperor Vespasian, Titus's father, and of Domitian, his brother. As usual on similar occasions, thousands of Jewish captives had to contend in the arena, either with each other or with wild beasts for the amusement of the spectators.
Jump down to a Jewish legend.
A Jewish legend has embellished this circumstance by describing in the most fabulous terms certain tortures which Titus had to endure in punishment for the destruction of Jerusalem and the temple.
So Titus had to experience certain punishments for destroying the temple. You think you're going to destroy the temple and get away with it, and you thinking you good? Nah, the Most High got something for you. Watch this.
On his voyage from Egypt to Italy, so goes the story, Titus was overtaken by a storm which threatened to destroy the vessel that bore him. Conscious of the righteous anger of the God of Israel, whom he had offended.
So he was conscious. Titus understood, like, damn, I destroyed the God of Israel temple. I destroyed their God's temple. Go ahead.
Titus broke forth in blasphemies against him, as if his power were limited to the sea in which he had once destroyed Pharaoh, and now threatened his own safety, while he was unable successfully to contend against him upon land. A voice from on high rebuked the blasphemy. The storm was hushed, but no sooner had Titus landed than he felt excruciating pains on the head.
So Titus now, he feels excruciating pains in his head. Go ahead.
Occasioned, as it afterwards turned out, by an insect gnawing on his brain.
Damn. So he had an insect. The Most High put an insect to gnaw on his brain. Read. That's right. Clap it up. Go ahead.
Which, according to the divine threatening, was to continue his tormentor through life.
He had to live with that. Read.
Only once, and for a short time, the noise from a blacksmith's shop caused the insect to desist. On his deathbed, Titus ordered the physicians, after his disease, to open his skull.
After his decease,
to open his skull in order to ascertain the occasion of this ceaseless agony.
This ceaseless pain that was tormenting him from the time he destroyed Jerusalem up until his death. Go ahead.
To their astonishment, they discovered in it an animal.
They discovered, what the hell?
Wow.
It was an animal in his head. Go ahead.
Which had grown to the size of a swallow, 2 talents in weight, with metal bill and claws.
What the hell going on?
A swallow's a bird.
That's a bird.
My man had a whole... Yo, go ahead, read on.
Which had gnawed at the emperor's brain.
Damn.
Yo, that's why I call the Lord the King of Terrors.
The King of Terrors.
A bird appear in your head.
And gnawing on your brain.
That's a real bird brain.
Yo.
Damn. Hey, with that, we going to say shalom.
Damn.
Damn.
Clap it up. Can we get some claps, bro?
Yo, what the hell is going on, yo?
Brothers back there like, yo, how come that happened to him? I feel bad for Titus back there, bro.
It's a new doctrine.
All right. I'm going to end it there. Officer Abaddon.
Hey, Israel, let's give it up for that class, man. All praise the Most High. That was a great class. All praise to you. Hey, Israel, subscribe on YouTube to Our Hidden History Radio. All right? Hit the notifications button so you know when we go live. Sooner or later, we're going to go live strictly on our page. So guess what? Hit the notification button and you're going to miss it. All right? Also, subscribe to our other Philly channels, IUIC Philadelphia and IUIC Philadelphia in the Classroom, to get some camp videos from the captains and officers of IUIC Philly. Donate to Our Hidden History on PayPal to IUIC.Philadelphia@IsraelUnite.org. In the comment section, put OHH so we can purchase more books to bring out to you. Also, donate to the Booster Club. You can donate to the Booster Club on PayPal to IUIC.fundraising@IsraelUnite.org to help this gospel be spread to the 4 corners of the earth. Subscribe to IUIC TV to get exclusive content from the leadership of IUIC, and tune in next to Raven and Wolves with Deacon Malafire.
Yo, no wolf.
No
man?
wolf again, right?
Gosh.
Yo, these guys.
Ow.
Hey, like to give a shout out to IT. No?
I have my reservations.
Oh, man. Nah, let's give them a shout out anyway, man. All right, great job. Also, the sister for the breakfast. All right, all praise the Most High.
Oh, now.
Oh, yeah. You know what y'all can do, though? Y'all can, we're seeking your assistance to enhance our national broadcast. Kindly spare a minute to provide feedback by answering 5 brief questions. Let's all go ahead and take that picture right now, all right?
Thank you, Officer Abaddon.
No,
Thank you,
all praise the Most High.
Thank you, sir.
Excellent leadership, Officer Manuel. Excellent.
Emmanuel this side? He's Emmanuel?
Oh, yeah, no, Manny. My fault, my bad. He's Manny today.
All right. All right. Shalom, shalom. Most High in Christ bless.
Most High Christ bless.
Lord's will, next show.
Shalom.
Shalom.